My name's Colin, welcome to 4 Ounce Insight. In this video we're going to talk about the weekend's fight. It's a bit of a late update, and happy belated new year to you all. This is my first video of 2024. 2024 ounce, if you will. No, that does not work. Don't try that again. Yeah, so look, great card. Nice warm up to the year. Get everything going. Some really good fights. But I'm gonna use this opportunity for my first video to have a little rant. Yeah, I mean, no one listens to me rant anyway. Perfect opportunity. Scream at my camera. There's two things that really bugged me about the weekend's fights. Now, there are plenty of people doing the X and the O's and stuff like that, but for me, there was really two things that after those fights I walked away from and I was like, ugh. First one, Johnny the Joker Walker. This man drives me insane. He drives me insane. Like, I don't like going hard to paint on fighters. I have no idea the amount of sacrifice, hard work, and, sheer will to do what it is that they do. And I've never got in there. So I always feel slightly, I don't know what it's like to go in there and face a monster and get beaten up. So I'm always slightly cautious. They're doing something truly extraordinary. But Johnny Walker was blessed. Blessed genetically, athletically. The man is a physical specimen. He's fast twitch. He's huge. He's got power. He's flexible. He's got crazy techniques. He's, on paper, when you look at him, should be right up there. He should be a contender or a world champion. But every gift comes with a curse, I'm guessing. But in this case, very, very clearly, every gift, there has to be some balance, a very Teo, yin and yang, there has to be a balance. And what he was given physically, something was taken away from him mentally, because he is as nutty as a box of frogs. And his fight IQ, when it comes to fight IQ, he's as dumb as a bookend. Honestly, it's like there's a big gap between his physical attributes and his mental attributes, and unfortunately that gap is between one ear and the other. He's the most frustrating fighter. So predictably, and very predictably, he comes out round one. Every technique he knows, he throws. He's not pacing himself. This is a 5-round fight. He's out there rock'em sock'em robots, like smashing that keypad on a street fight, like every technique. And while it was happening, I was like, this guy's not only going to get knocked out, but this phrase kept popping through in my head. It's that Bruce Lee one, where it's something along the line of, I'm not worried about a guy that knows 10,000 kicks, I'm worried about a guy that's practiced one kick 10,000 times. It's something like that. I probably butchered it. But that's what this was. He's got all these crazy techniques. He's got no discipline behind it. He makes silly faces like Verdum did, but he's not a world champion. He can be cringy and offbeat and weird like Henry Cejudo, but he's not a world champion. His decision making at times looks like a very concussed Diego Sanchez. Calling on the power of the Aztecs to propel him forward. Like, he's a seriously mentally fragile person. He's either up there like it's a sparring session, like making comments, making lots of gestures and stuff to his opponent, like their mates. Oh, that was a bit of a low blow. Like, he's trying to have a conversation with him. And Ankalaev was like, settle down, boy. I'll leave you, burn off that nervous energy. I'll see you in round 2. When I know you will settle down. And 2, you'll enter into space without protecting yourself in any noticeable way. Like, he leaves himself so open and he gets flash knocked out so easily. He recovers incredibly fast. Incredibly fast. He pops back up and he's back in the fight. This time, Ankalaev was not letting him pop back up, and he just wrapped his nose around the side of his face. Like, this, Johnny Walker drives me absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. I don't think he should be fighting at all. And, you know, people go, oh, that's harsh. Come on, look, I think he's ranked 7 at this time. I doubt he'll be in the top 10 for much longer. Whatever peak he's had, it's over. It's finished. And I feel sorry for the SBG team. They've worked hard with him, but they can't seem to get through to him. Like, how do you mature that fighter? Now, we have creative fighters and they do crazy things, and yeah, they're not always disciplined, you know. And we like those fighters. We like those creative fighters, but it also comes with those people only realise their potential when they mix in some of the basics and some of the discipline that goes along with it. Otherwise, we see this kind of crazy up and down, or they end up, you know, having quite a salty record, unless they're truly exceptional. But even then, you know, like I said, if it's not weaved with the discipline or some of that mental focus, I mean, you can end up with anything happening. And that's the trouble. Anything can happen with him. Yeah, he could land one of those crazy techniques and knock you out. But I don't feel like that's a skill too much, more than just dumb luck, because he's throwing everything. This isn't, oh, I'm going to draw out this opportunity. You know, I'm going to maybe pump fake you, or maybe I'm going to pretend I'm going to do something. Maybe I'm going to shoot and come over. All of these things. He doesn't do any of that. It's just axe kick, spinning back fist, 1, 2. You know, he's just throwing whatever he can at the target. And, you know, look, I'm ranting about Johnny. Let's not talk, you know, take anything away from Ankalaev, because, you know, that guy's on course for a title shot. He's doing it the right way. He's building up. He's very focused in there. He's very determined. He doesn't let the antics get in his head. But Johnny Bloody Walker drives me insane. Personally, I don't think he's good enough for the UFC. Personally, if you haven't learnt those lessons by now and you're in the top 10, you know, what we waiting for? Another little mini comeback where he goes on a 2-3 fight win streak and then gets overexcited and gets sparked out again. There's no fun there. There's no fun there for me. He's just too frustrating. It's just too frustrating, especially when you see less skilled fighters with a lot more heart, and they're doing more in the sport, and you have more respect from them. Johnny Walker is just pissing away his career, in my opinion. You know, it was a bit like, you know, Calvin Gastelum's done a lot of great stuff, but we all know he was always overweight. And if he could just dial in his diet and be a bit more disciplined, when he was at his peak, he could have been a very successful fighter. I mean, he is successful, but, you know, championship gold could have been a possibility. But he always walked in there tubby and, you know, missed weight a bunch of times. Like, he just lacked that discipline. And it cost him. It has cost him. And, you know, Johnny Walker doesn't seem to have a problem with his weight, but he definitely has a problem with his ability to retain information, make adaptations on the fly, and just, I don't know, protect yourself at all times. Very, very frustrating. Bugbear number 2. Now, the other bit of my rant, the second half of my New Year rant, is Andrei Arlovski and, what's his name? Acosta. Cortes, is it Cortes Acosta? Cortes Acosta. Now, we know Andrei's at the end of his career. He's been a legend of the sport. His record is getting saltier and saltier, and right now they're very much using him as a gatekeeper. It's just, do you want Arlovski on your record? And we see this with older fighters, especially big names, and especially with legends. You know, I'm pretty sure he was heading up the prelim, not actually due to be on the main card, and I think there was a shuffle, because I'm trying to remember the first time I looked up, I was shocked that he was heading up the prelim. Not shocked, disappointed. Disappointed he was heading up the prelim because it's kind of where he's at in his career. And again, like, he's older, he's a bit slower, and in the heavyweight division, speed isn't always the most important thing, but he was, he was always a lighter heavyweight. He did use speed and timing to get there. He wasn't like a superpower puncher, scary kind of come in and just smash someone's head off like a Mark Hunt or a Derek Lewis or an Ngannou or someone like that. He was a bit more technical, a bit lighter on his feet. Sort of the blueprint for more modern heavyweights. Now we look at Aspinall and Garn and these Jones, these very mobile, light on their feet heavyweights. So the division now is too good for him. He's too old and an absolute pioneer of the sport. And I think he needs to move on. He needs to move on. He either needs to retire from fighting, or he needs to go to a promotion that will let him take that secret sauce, that special sauce that's going to rewind the aging process and put his body where his mind is so that he can execute on the things that are up here that his body's just not willing to do anymore. Look at me, the drug dealer. Yeah, go out, take those steroids. You'll be fine. Don't worry about your health. Heart attack, roid rate. It's fine. It's fine. Go be the best you can be. But Cortes Acosta, this is the bit. Andre, he's a legend. No problem. Cortes Acosta, on the other hand, mocked him all the way through that fight. It was a bit of performative art. Not only was it disrespectful to a legend, I don't know what's gone on between them. I don't care if they got beef outside the ring. I don't care. I don't care. When you're in there, you show the legend respect, right? You hear fighters say it. Often their idols become their foes, or eventually you have to fight your heroes. And the best thing you can do is give them your very best performance and try to win, because that's how you honor another fighter, right? You fight them. They don't want a pass. They don't want an easy win. They don't want you to take it easy on them. They want to test themselves against you. That's the whole point. This guy was talking and chatting. Do you know what bugged me more than anything? So yes, it's slightly disrespectful to Arlovski, but what bugged me more than anything was he wasn't doing anything in the fight. He wasn't doing anything that warranted that kind of showboatiness and playing to the crowd. He did nothing. It was a boring fight. Did he win? Yeah, but, is it one for the Hall of Fame? Is it one for the highlight reel? Absolutely not. This wasn't Cody Garbrandt against Dominic Cruz, where Cody was on fire. He was doing things that no one expected him to do, his movement, and he started showboating. And it seemed more sort of hand in glove. His creativity and his showboating were going together. It was a pinnacle of all things. His training, his skill set, and how, being kind of disrespectful and dancing and stuff was disrupting Dominic Cruz. It made sense. It's a highlight reel. It will be known as probably one of those, it's got to be up there as one of the greatest bantamweight fights. And like a huge upset. There was a lot of history there. This thing was just the sort of thing that normally upsets Dana White. It's showboating when you're doing nothing. It's thinking you're bigger and badder than you are when nothing's really happening and you're not there yet. Sugar Sean knocked someone out stone dead. Yeah, you expect him to do a little bit of basketball and mess around. But that's been an accumulative effect over time. Disrespectful. I hated it. Did not like it. That being said, the card was really good. It was a good warm-up for the year. There's lots of good fights coming up. So, very, very positive. Very positive outlook. Andre, get out there. Get on the secret sauce, mate. Find yourself a promotion. If you still want to fight, there's no title run to be had. I hope you're not scratching for pennies at this stage in your career and you're just fighting for money. If you're going to carry on fighting, I'd love to see you move on to an organisation where that, one, like I said, then they're going to be less picky about what you're sticking in your body, and two, that maybe the fighters around are of a skill set that's going to suit your kind of your age and where you are in the sport. Acosta, like, listen, you need to do something next time because you bored the pants out of me, mate. And Johnny the Joker Walker, if they cut him tomorrow, it wouldn't bother me. It wouldn't bother me. It would just be another thing to add to the frustration pile, because if someone can get inside his head and truly get this man to think in the way that he needs to. I'm not talking about the discipline to train. I'm talking about the discipline of the fight. If someone can teach him some serious fight IQ, you know. I don't know if he's left it too late because he's a bit chinny as well. Don't know. But Johnny Walker forever will be known as the Joker. But on to positive things. Listen, if you like this video, please smash that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. And more importantly, throw some comments out there. I love engaging. And if you've got opinions that differ from mine, that's exactly what I want to hear. So that's my 4 ounce insight. And as I said, let me know yours in the comments section below. And until next time, I'll see you soon.